Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching Sit Down. Look who's here. Team Mowry. What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. Just doing whatever we can to, flatten this curve, meaning staying inside, trying to stay busy with the kids. We've been doing lots of cooking, watching movies. So.
You watch anything good recently?
You know what? My son just found Family Matters.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Remember the show Family
Yeah.
Matters? And he's fallen in love with the show. And I was like, mommy knows Urkel, Jaleel White. He was like, oh, no way. And I'm like, yeah, I could totally call him right now. And, you could talk to him if you want. So, we've been catching up on some, old shows, which is really, really cool.
That's awesome. Have your kids watched your old stuff?
Okay. So, yes. He's seen little snippets of Sister, because that's just like online. I've showed him. But this past Halloween, Twitches, comes on all the time. And I was so excited. I was like, Cree, look who that is. It's Mommy. Twitches.
Nothing?
Wasn't interested.
Like, come on. It's like mom's doing magic. That's pretty cool.
I know. I was wrong. I totally thought that he was gonna, get into it and like it. And literally like 10 minutes in, he had changed the channel. It hurt my feelings.
Yeah, that's a bummer. It's like, come on, man. Like, this is my pride back in the day here. Come on.
Right? So.
That's right.
But he does love my, Tia Mowry's Quick Fix. So I have a YouTube channel called Tia Mowry's Quick Fix, and he loves watching that. Because he's on it. So he'll watch some of his episodes. And he does love watching Family Reunion, which is a show that I'm on for Netflix right now. He loves that show.
Well, why don't we talk about that show? You have like all these different chapters in your career. So what's it been like doing the Netflix show?
Oh my gosh. It has been incredible. I love going to work on that show, mainly because just the environment, working with Loretta Devine, who, is a genius, and Richard Roundtree, who's the original Shaft. It's just been so amazing to just sit back and learn from them just as an actress. But not only that, I love working with kids. Kids, I call them geniuses. They're so much fun. They're so entertaining, and it's just a great set. I feel very, very blessed to be a part of that show. And then also working with Netflix has been wonderful. They've allowed us to, tap into storylines that I feel like you wouldn't necessarily be able to talk about if you were on some other network. So it's been really great to be able to dive into, storylines that I feel like are very authentic to African American cultures, which has been, very awesome, and just, it's rewarding and purposeful.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because it goes all over the world. It gives you the freedom to tap into all these different things. And it's like, you've been in TV for a long time. Like, these were topics that weren't touched in the 90s. Now, full throttle we're in.
Oh my gosh, yes. And if I can give an example, one of the stories that was touched on was police, how there can be some sort of police brutality when it comes to young African American males. And we did a storyline on that with my sons. And it really touched home, because I have a young son who is 8 years old. And it was just great to be able to talk about, a topic like that, and be able to, share your story and, to bring some sort of awareness to the topic.
Yeah, it's really important because it hits you as a parent, it hits kids, and this is stuff we need to talk about. And also,
yes,
like, you have this really unique experience having been a kid actor, and now you're working with all these kids.
I know.
Full circle moment.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I find myself, I try not to kind of, because they kind of look at me like mom, but I want to be like the cool mom, but I'm always giving them advice because I've been through that. Mm-hmm. I know what it feels like to be on a set at 15, 14 years old, and I can see how they balance so much. I mean, this is a job, and these kids are required to show up. And what I mean by that is know your lines, stand on your mark. If you're upset about you just got into an argument with your brother or your sister, you can't let that show. You have to get out there and you have to perform. And not only that, you're going to school at the same time. So when you're done with that one scene, it's multitasking. You know what I mean? It's like juggling so many different things. And, just to be able to give some sort of advice to these kids, it's been great. And they definitely ask me questions. So it's been fun. And then seeing them grow, you know what I mean? Like seeing them grow as actors, seeing them grow in this environment. It's amazing.
You mentioned being, 14, 15 on set. Like you had the luxury of being with your sister, but it's a lot going on at that age. So what were some of the toughest things you had to deal with as you're becoming a young woman and also trying to build that?
Oh my gosh. I think the toughest thing is growing up in front of the public's eye, meaning you're learning about yourself, right? Because that's what you do when you grow up. Yeah. You have growing pains. I think there's a show called Growing Pains, but you have growing pains and the whole world is looking at you, So that was pretty challenging and difficult. But again, having my sister there with me to just kind of have that support system and to say, look, I'm going through the same thing. We'll get through this together. I think the hardest thing for me as a child actor and then growing up into, being a woman is getting people to see you as an adult and seeing you as a woman. Because I think sometimes what happens is when you're portrayed as this actor and you're on this television show, people kind of just tend to put you in this, they pigeonhole you and they put you in this box, and they don't think that you can play or portray a certain character that's now an adult. And navigating through those waters, it was pretty challenging because I always had to convince other people that, look, I'm not that little child star anymore. I'm an adult. I'm a real person. I've gone through, challenges, and I've evolved. And when I booked The Game, which was a television show that I did for 5 years, that was on the CW, that was one of my biggest challenges was, during the auditioning process, was trying to convince the creator of the show, like, look, I'm not the sister twin, Tia Landry. I'm a grown woman and I can apply my personal experiences to make this character come alive. And I'm so happy that I was able to get that opportunity. But I would say that was the most challenging thing I think I had to, get through.
That's really well said. And just like your identity alone from your sister, your identity separate from the show, like you're just trying to figure that out in life, let alone in the industry.
Yes, totally. And I'm an advocate for, because people, they always ask us, myself and my sister, twin questions. And I'm an advocate for parents of twins to, encourage individuality, because when you are a twin, people tend to clump you together and group you together. And not only do your parents do that, but society does that. And they think that you are one person or you're the same, but you're not. You're two individuals who just happen to look alike. Yep. And I think growing up with my sister, we actually had to learn how to embrace our individuality, and to not judge one another's differences. Meaning, even with our parental styles, we're very different. So if she has advice, or vice versa, it's about learning from those differences as opposed to judging those differences. So I say that to say, I'm very grateful that, with our careers, that we've been able to have our career together and then also be able to have our careers as individuals. Because again, society doesn't always accept you in that way, but I think it shows how we've done a really good job at being who we are and staying authentic to who we are and allowing ourselves to be who we are and to embrace our individuality. I think it's important. It's really, really important.
I was talking with John Marshall Jones the other day about Smart Guy.
Yes,
It was great talking with him and thinking about the show. And he was just saying, like, he didn't realize it at the time, but it was a really big, impactful show all over the world, and especially for Black families too. Like your show, Sister Sister, Smart Guy, like being Black women on TV in the 90s was really significant, and people learned a lot from that. So what's it like seeing the reaction from people all these years later?
You know, again, I am an advocate for just diversity. I think it's really important that we have representation, because with that becomes relatability, right? And then with that, when you see someone that looks like you, then you're able to relate, and then you're able to grow and evolve. And so I think representation is really, really important. But, you know, I felt, and I still feel so blessed to be able to be in the position that I am in now, to be able to be a part of shows where not only, you know, there's diversity within the cast, but, you know, there are women who happen to be leads in television shows. Not only that, I mean, I do a lot of Lifetime movies, and that's one thing that I love about Lifetime. It's the one network where you see a woman being the number one on the call sheet, but not only that, an African-American woman being on the call sheet. And again, why this is important to me is because it's about representation. It's about being able to see yourself within these stories and to empathize or sympathize or to grow and learn from these stories that are being told. So, you know, I feel like it's a huge responsibility of mine to continue to keep that going. It's something that I'm very passionate about. And again, I feel very grateful to have had the opportunities that I have, but to be two, you know, back to Sister Sister, to be two young girls, twins and Black, and have your own television show and it be successful was just amazing. And I feel so blessed to have been, you know, given that opportunity, which has now led me to the opportunities that I have now.
Yeah, you're doing all these different things. I know you have a vitamin company as well. So how
Yes.
do you in the business world?
Yes. So I have a supplement line called Answer, and I'm going to try to make this a long story short, but my motive or my inspiration with coming up with this line was due to my, you know, personal health journey. I have been diagnosed with something called endometriosis, and actually a lot of African-American women happen to be diagnosed with this. But with that said, you know, I was seeing this doctor, and this doctor was like, look, if you want your symptoms to be suppressed, you're going to have to change your lifestyle. It was the first time that a doctor had told me or put the responsibility in my hands. You know what I mean? I'm like, wait, what? So I listened because, you know, endometriosis, it's a highly inflammatory condition that can cause infertility. And I'm in my 20s. I'm with the love of my life. I want to have babies. Yeah. So I changed my diet. I changed my lifestyle. I started taking supplements, and I saw a huge change within my wellness. And I didn't want to leave that to myself. I wanted to, it was an aha moment for me. And, you know, I was able to have kids after changing my diet. I no longer had migraines. I no longer had eczema, and I wanted to share this with the world. So that's one of the main reasons why I ended up coming out with a supplement line called Answer. But not only that, another motivation for me was during this journey, this health journey that I was on, I didn't see representation at all. I did not see women of color. Women of just diversity, and I just felt that was wrong. So I wanted to change that narrative. So I wanted to, start communicating with the consumers that didn't feel included or recognized. And not only that, it was very important for me to make Answer affordable. This is a bottle of supplements that is not just 1 month supply, but it is a 2 month supply at such an affordable price. And I wanted to change that narrative. Why is wellness only available? Why is it not affordable? I definitely wanted to change that. So that's my inspiration and my goal behind Answer. Not only that, I want to encourage women to meditate on the hashtag that self-care is not selfish. It's okay for you to take care of yourself. As a woman, and I've seen it with my mom, I've seen it with my grandmother, and I've seen it with a lot of women in general. They tend to always take care of everyone else and put everyone first and not themselves. But how can you be that best CEO, that best entrepreneur, that best mom, that best friend, that best wife, that best girlfriend if you don't take care of yourself? So that has been the whole, message behind my supplement line, and it just doesn't stop there. We've launched 2 weeks ago. We've launched a gummy line for the kids. Nice. And a men's line as well, because again, it just doesn't stop with you. It's with the whole family. You want to make sure that the whole family, is taken care of. So that's been so much fun. It's my child. It's my baby, and I'm having a great time nurturing and building it up.
That's awesome news, and keep up the great work. And thanks so much for hanging out with us today, all right?
Oh my gosh, no problem. You were great.